This is Dukascopy webinars. We have a team of expert analysts and retail traders who host a number of daily webinars focusing on forex trading. If you are new to Dukascopy and to trading, then you should check out J4X3 by watching one of the intro webinars. And don't worry, they are available in various languages. However, if you are already familiar with the platform, then you should watch our tutorial videos. The tutorials teach you how to trade the markets. They are not just following signals blindly. Our traders host daily webinars. You can join a mentor and fellow trader in order to learn and share methods and setups. In addition, if you are experienced enough and up for the challenge, you can host your own show.
Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We're getting rolling along here. I was ahead of the curve, now I'm behind the curve. Figure out how does that work. Anyway, it's Happy to Hump Day. It's Wednesday. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. What do I have on my J4X? Let's move this up. That's a dollar index. That's right, we were yesterday. Minimize that. Again, there we are. I'm trying to move it up. There we go. Let's get the Swiss franc up there. It's emphasizing basically. Okay, well, you can see here just wildly, I guess. You can see here the dollar index moving up again. I heard somebody yesterday say somewhere along the line that kind of made more sense than usual, and that was that maybe the dollar is seeing the inflation. Maybe people, around the world are. I have a hard time just solely because of the way the Federal Reserve is on top of everything and anything and controls it all. But that's not a bad idea to think about, and that is that this is an affirmation, and that's why we're seeing the markets, the equity markets, getting kind of wild. Oh, there you go. Hey, Alan T. Or AT, what's happening? Sorry, Doc, I'll be back tomorrow. Been waking up early feeling fatigued. We won the Olympics hosting for Brisbane 232. Hey, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, get some Z's. You can always watch the video, and then you can also throw out some questions if you want. I can go through them, and you can go back to sleep, and then check it out on the video later on in the day, that type of thing. All right, so let's see now. Let's get this going here. There we go. Okay, you can see that. We don't have our fact check spreadsheet up there yet. Let's get that going too. There we are. And what we see this morning is kind of a mixed market. We got the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the old stocks. They're showing lots of strength. The S&P 500 very firm. Matter of fact, I think I'll just show that to you right now. I'm going to throw you the short term up there just for the sake that it gets it done quick. You can see here, Nasdaq 100 or Tech 100. That's on Dukascopy, down 14.5. S&P 500 basically up about 11 or 11 and a quarter. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 160 as we speak there. Sold down to about plus 74, and Nasdaq was down about 33. This got down to about 0, I guess you could say, unchanged. But that's the action we're seeing in the 3 stock indices here in the States this morning. And one of the stories is that the Nasdaq, or the Tech 100, needs lower interest rates. Hey Moses, how you doing? Good morning to you. Happy to Hump Day. And so, because the high-tech companies are very cash needy, I guess you could call it. They function. They need a lot of cash to function. So they borrow, and interest rates go up. They feel the pain. Whereas, like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, those companies don't need as much cash to function. They're old line companies that have manufacturing tires or pharmaceuticals and so forth and so on. They have lots of cash flow, and so they don't have to go out and borrow as much. I'm sure they're borrowing just like everybody else, but not as intense, and so it doesn't have an effect on their balance sheet. When you're looking at the profit and losses. So that's part of the action that we're seeing probably is that the fact that the interest rates are moving and there's potential for upward interest rate costs And again, I think that's why we saw, we talked about it yesterday, and we'll probably be talking about it for weeks, because we keep on thinking that the target zone is like the middle of August. And once we see, what the inflation looks like, if it's diminishing from June and July, it hasn't diminished from July. July went up again. So we need to start to back off. And if it doesn't start to back off, we're going to start to see more selling in the equity markets. So that's where we're at. All right, now let's see. Let's jump over to. I did say hello to Moses, didn't I? Yes. Hello, Moses. Good morning to you. Good afternoon and good evening. And so you can see here the Swissy is moving up because the dollar is going up. And that means that the Swissy is losing value. All right. And then, let's take a look at it on Chicago Quant real quick, too. How's that look? Well, that's pretty good, actually. Look at that. If I pull that down. There we are. And bring this down a little bit more, like so. And what product was that? Oh, that's a dollar index. Okay. And let's put the Swiss in that real quick, just to take a peek at it also. You can see here, same as on the J4X. Let's go over to the J4X again. Mousy, where are you there? She's doing the same thing. Moving up. Green hinky ASCII bars, and you can see the same thing here. We got lots of green dots, and then you can see our white line is above the 0 line. You can see here. No, you can't see there. Where is it at? There it is. You can see right there. The white line is above the dashed line, and so it's just showing you that the strength is there. All right, let's check out Euro. I know it closed in the daily sell yesterday. Right there. You see a little more pressure on it today. And you can see the white lines had a hard time getting above the dashed line. We've been in the daily sell on that just, let's check that out right there. I think it's only a few days. Yeah, 2 full days going on a third. So that makes sense to me. And that's where the euro is acting. It's doing that. Now, what's interesting is the way some of these weeklies tried to turn up. We talked about that yesterday. It says to me that longer-term money on a week-to-week basis is a little confused, not sure what to do. That's exactly what that's trying to tell us, just because of the way it's jumping. When you have the dailies getting pushed down, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get that surge up, and it's not gradual. Says basically very clearly they're not sure, and so they're basically trying to flatten out. A lot of desks, trading desks, that's still the ones that have survived. No, sometimes you just need to be flat, not long, not short, just flat. All right. And then, let's see, what's the next one we chase after? Chase after the British pound. Let's see what the British pound's up to. As I chew on some nuts this morning. I'm always, like, as a trader, I'm always snacking. God, I gotta stop that. Especially during the webinar. I mean, I'm always a snacker, All right, and there's cable. You see it there, breaking down well below the 38s and the high 37s that we thought it could hold onto. It didn't do it. Take a look at it over here on J4X. Right there. Same situation. Breaking down. It'll show us there in a second. You can see the red bars, the hinkies. And I'm not sure why all of a sudden our... so we got to go like that. Where's our lines? Where do our lines go? Make this bigger. Maybe it'll straighten it out. Oh, maybe we have to go like down here. I don't know why our lines go. Where's our tools? Let's check out our indicators and see where it is at. Let's see, recent indicators. There we go. And let's do that again. Not sure why that happened, but again there. Recent indicator. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's moving it right up onto the thing there. So we have to. No, we don't want that. Let's edit. Let's see, where is that? Let's go back to that again. Recent indicators. There's that one. We want that. There it is. Okay. So I'm not sure why it did that, but we can get rid of these guys right here. Edit indicators. Cancel. There we go. We just exit out. Bingo. And bingo. And bingo. There we are. There we go. Now you can see we're down at the bottom end of the range there. And on Chicago Quant, same situation. Well, no, we can't even tell if that's the same situation. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Not that. Right there. I can tell you that it's bouncing because you can see the histogram turning up. See? I mean, remember, the histograms are going to move the same with the white lines. Just they're one standard deviation off of them, that's all. So, you see it's trying to turn up just the way Chicago Quant, J4X is trying to turn up right here. There we are. So, what else can we say about pound? Like I said, I'm a little surprised we're in the 136s. I thought for sure we'd get parked in the 137s for a while. Then, we get into a weekly or daily buy and we go running right back up into the 140s. But right now it doesn't seem like that, does it? There's a lot of cross currents. I'm going to be saying that a lot. And when I spot them, I'll mention what they are exactly. The different ones. In this case here was the weeklies we talked about. What's the other one? It just was at the top of my head and it just disappeared when I said that. The Nasdaq stocks failing when you see the Dow Jones Industrial stocks succeeding, that's a good warning sign right there. The fact that, matter of fact, I think I saw 30-year fall into a weekly, not weekly, but a daily sell yesterday. Let me go over and check that out. Right there. Yeah, right there. So when the price goes down, interest rates are going up. So that went into a daily sell yesterday. Somewhere around 7 or 8 o'clock last night, it finally reflected it. And you can see the pressure's on. We've been in a weekly buy for a while, so we'll see if that's just a little bounce, like a dead cat bounce, not necessarily anything meaningful. We'll keep an eye on it and see what's going on there. Let's show you that. Right there. Because that is where we're at this point. Everything is going to be the interest rates and the inflation. I don't care what they say about earnings. And the end result is that if inflation perks up, which it has already, and it's not, what's he calls it? Transitory. I love that. Why don't you just call it fleeting? Transitory. And so Powell calls it transitory, meaning that it's only going to be here for a very short period of time. Well, he said a month or two, and then what did we see? We even saw a higher number in July. We've got to start seeing a lower number in August. If we don't see a lower number in August, money will find a way to get out of the market. The market may not fall that far, but the trend might become down. It would take more craziness to hurt the markets at this point, where the Federal Reserve doesn't have the power to control it. All right, let's jump over to in the currencies. Let's take a look at the Turkish Lira right there. Climbing up into the daily buy finally. We're still in that weekly sell. Now I'm curious. Let's see where the euro is against the Turkish Lira. Right there. That's also doing the same thing. Now that's been in a weekly sell for 3 full weeks, and on a 4th, and it's going to take a little work to get that thing to go back up. Another quiet morning. All right, let's see. Let's jump over to Canadian. And the Canadian's flat from yesterday. It's giving us a little red dot. Still in the daily buy, still in the weekly buy. Pressure's on the upside, traders. Definitely on the upside. And whoop, let's cancel that. See what it looks like on J4X. Right there. And that's usually indicative, like the way it's going up means that there's pressure on the oil market. Now I know we're in the daily sell for a few days. So let's see what they're doing with the oil market. I'll tell you one thing's interesting is that the natural gas market just keeps on lifting. There's crude. Oh, crude's popping up today. Look at that, it's trying to climb into a buy. So Canadian should be starting to break down. We'll see. And we have looked at the, let's take a look at the Euro Canadian too. Where's that? It's right there. Euro Canadian. Right. It's right here somewhere. There it is. And that's moving down. That's more indicative of strong oil. So that makes sense. I think that's how it goes. Let's see. Let's put oil up on J4X. And we'll look at the two of these for a little bit. Like that. There it is right there. So as this has been rising, this has been going down, right? And so when this is going down, this should be rising up. Okay. And there's a sideways action. And that top, where's that top like right there? Are they matching up? I guess it's the bottom, right? Let's see, that is the 21st of July 5th. Where's July 5th? Oh, July 5th is right here. So that's all that action right there. Okay. That's what's going on there. So with this trying to turn up, or vice versa, this heading down, confirming the strength in the crude. Middle-aged. Oh, I saved let's see, yen and silver, Doc. Thanks. Oh, okay. Also, we can take a look at coffee for you. Because that stuff doesn't like to update too much. Let's see. There's yen. Yeah, weren't you looking at looking for the weekly, and wasn't it down yesterday much deeper than they rallied it up and closed in a daily buy last night? Right there. I thought of you when I was saving it last night. I was like, wait a minute, wasn't Middle Age thinking short? Or something like that. What was it? What were you aiming for? Was it long or short? I forget. And it was breaking down, right? Or were you looking for calls, thinking that it's going to get beat up on the upside? Maybe that's what it was. So it's flirting. Remember, this was down pretty decent yesterday to start the day. I should have saved it. And you can see today it's only minus 0.01. And the plot 4 is not even a 0.4, it's a 0.3. So it's real thin, you know. And it's trying to turn back up again. Matter of fact, our charts that we sent out last night showed the green line in it. And on the fact check, I think it is, was that line 17? Where's that? Line, yeah, there it is. Line 19. Line 19 shows the daily buy right there. Now let's check out silver. Right there. I saw gold looking pretty firm today. That kind of was nice. There's gold. No, not anymore, it isn't. they were firming it up earlier. I promise you, I saw it. And this is just doing the same thing, but not as bad as gold falling down. That's kind of nice to see the green line trying to come back up. You want me to throw a gas 5 in there to take a little peek and see what it might look like? We can do that. Search study. Gas 5. See, I got that on your weekly now on the coffee. Alright, there we are. That's interesting. Move this up. Move this up. And then move this one up. Yeah, see that? I mean, where's the green line? The green line right there broke the blue. Did it here for that little pop there also for 3 days, but didn't really have any legs to it, you know. It went up from it and went into a daily buy, even coordinated to it, but there was no real buying there with those red dots. And we're doing it again. If we can get a green dot in here and get back up, and this thing starts to turn up in here, it could be that thing right there. Let's see. I've been watching to get long the JP when the weekly closes. Yeah, I hear you. Well, the moment I see it happen, I'll let you know. Let's see. What do we? What was the other one? Middle-aged muscle. Oh, Kansas City's blasting this morning. Yeah, you know, I saved that too in case you're in the hood. The red wheat. Right there, September red wheat. Yeah. Now that's interesting is we went into the sell there yesterday and we're starting to lift up in here, but you can't take any of these sells with that weekly signal being strong. That's one thing for sure. Be nice to see how this turns up today. You know, if they can get, and look at this, we're taking out highs. Didn't I see this up near $7 at one point? That's pretty high. I mean, compared to regular, yeah, there it was. Went up to $7.50 back in May. I wonder if they're going to go after that. That's going to be very interesting. Now, did you see that crazy trading in old corn last week where they jacked corn up to like $7.50 a bushel? That was wild. There's a good correlation between some of these currency pairs and the commodities. Sorry about what? No, I left that up there. I leave it on this. Where is it at? I think here it is. I have it here. Wait a minute. I left it up there, so I figured if you're I wanted to show you because sometimes it just doesn't update like the other products. There we go. That's today. Look at that. Now, you can't trust some of this stuff here. But the last is 48. You're getting what you were asking for. In other words, you're getting that strength. You know, it's blasting up. I thought yesterday when you said you were amazed that it bounced off the zero line, or said something like that's incredible. I bet you got really bullish then. Yeah, I'm sure of that. But your long call spreads. For those that are new here. Middle-aged muscle trades binaries or bull spreads or calls. He trades the option side of the universe. I don't know if he short-term trades any of the other stuff, but he's an option trader. So, you know, a binary is an options, two options combined together. That's what a binary is. Dukascopy offers binaries out there, and you know that's the action that's going on right now. Is the strength in the coffee. You know, it's making that's all-time highs, isn't it? One thing we know is that middle age has been long, and last week it got so close. Middle age, I closed 3 calls yesterday for 13,000. Nice. The thing here, the way it bounced off the line was something. Now look at the green line. Let's do this. Let's move this up. Look at the way the green line is still moving slow to get back up through here. So it's definitely not overbought at the moment. That's the thing. The daily is kind of reflecting lots of strength. And, you know, it might zigzag a little bit in there. but this weekly is rocketing. And the fact that this, see when it finally did climb up in here, it rode the blue line. If this thing climbs up into the blue line, I see the blue line bending down. Let's see when the last time it bent down like that. See now here, the blue line started to curve down and this thing went sideways and that made a nice high at 40. And then it came down and challenged 35. So we'll keep an eye on the daily and figure that you binary it a little bit on some of the others in case it starts to turn. Let's see, the quants have kept me in the game in coffee. Yeah, I mean they really have. They've been they get that way, That's why you can't let anything handcuff you. And so, in other words, what I mean by handcuffing traders. Speaking of which, I'll have to tell you after this. Remind me about that, about handcuffing again after I mention it. One of the things that you don't want to do is get handcuffed, and what we mean by that is get stuck in a position and your work that you've studied and practiced for, you're going against. In other words, if your work says to be long, be long. That's why you do the work. That's why you practice trading. That's why you do all those things. You do the quick little studies every morning or every evening. And so don't get handcuffed and fight your own system. In this case here, Middle Age follows our weekly signals very tightly, very, very tightly. And, he follows the dailies, but he follows the weeklies even more. And so, now the other one that I wanted to mention was I was running through Facebook or something today, and somebody was being interviewed, and they claimed to be a floor guy. And they were talking about, like as if the markets still trade like it's the floor time, And I put something in the comment line. I just had to say is that, floor traders are reactive, off-floor traders are proactive. They're not the same. Don't confuse people, that type of thing. I had to say that. And I just wanted to remind everybody, anybody out there trying to tell you that they're going to teach you how to trade like you're on the floor, tell them to get you a time machine. Because those guys were reactive because they had orders flying at them all the time. No one's knocking on your door or your office door or wherever you are. They're not saying, "Hey, go, can I buy euros for a minute?" I mean, no one knocks on your front door and says, "I'd like to buy some gold." I mean, maybe if you're a gold dealer, but not a private home. No, they wouldn't even know to go to your house. All right, the weekly is king and daily is prince. Yeah, I agree, because the weekly shows the long trend, especially when you're using binaries or options. The weekly gives you that edge. You don't get stopped out. So how many times, traders, have you heard people say, "Oh man, I was long and I got margined out and then it went up"? Well, options stop that. You don't get margined out. When you do binaries, you don't get margined out. You just put the positions on and let them work. So yeah, and using that type of tool. Now I use hard delta. I'll trade euro or British pound on an intraday basis through spot. But the thing is that it's intraday, hence the word intraday. So. Oh, I'm not even showing you that. Oh, here you go. So yeah, here you go. You can see this right there. See how this is trying to, turn up in here. And the last time we saw something like this, I moved it over to take a look, where the blue dotted line is heading down and the green is heading up. It was here. And, you got one of these pops, and we're getting that right now to all-time highs. And this might stall out a little bit, and then for a couple of weeks, and then turn around and go even after more aggressive stuff, especially if we get the green line through the where's that? The green line through the blue line here. In this case here, it hit the first time manifold and just rolled over. As this is moving down, that there's going to be weakness. So that's what you're going to watch for Middle Age right here. You're going to watch to see if this hits the gold line in there, just like we do on J4X. We have the gold dashed line instead. like that. That's what we'll keep an eye on. Let's see. Moses is saying, let's check out the South African Rand. Let's go for the South African Rand. Let's minimize this for a second. Find my right mouse there. That's minimized. There it is. Let's go over to the South African Rand right there. And I imagine, I think I'm going to bring up a picture. I could have sworn gold was trying to go into it wasn't going into the daily buy today, but it was showing strength. Yeah, look at that. They're saying gold should be going down, and that's silver, but let's put the gold in there again. And gold is going down. Now, let me put this up on the screen. When we sent charts out this morning, like 2 hours ago, let's see if we can find it. Right there. There it is. No, I guess not. I could have sworn this thing was pushing up. I wonder what product that was. Was it silver? I bet it was silver. Let me check out silver. I think silver was pushing up. Somebody in the metals complex was pushing up. I saw it. Let's find it here again. Yeah, there it was. This morning when we first sent these things out a couple hours ago, look at that. Silver was trying to push up. There was not enough for a green line. I mean, we really need the histogram or the white, the green line to get into the plus zone. And then I'm willing to put a green line up in here, But it was doing that. Not anymore. There's silver now live. It's down. It's lost that push. Okay, let's go back to the South African Rand, because that all correlates with it. The metals are moving down in value, and we're seeing the South African Rand move up. That's what it does. That's that correlation between the two. How's that, Moses? Pretty cool or what? On a weekly basis, you can see there the Rand is in a weekly buy for 3, 4, 5 full weeks, going on a sixth. We got the daily in a buy for a couple days. It's feeling the pressure. It's feeling the burn. You know what I mean? And I have not seen anything on Zuma and how things are going. But that little civil war inside the ANC, which has spilled out in Swaziland or on the edge of it in Durban, is probably the Zulus are probably saying this is a bunch of bull. Go away. You're wrecking our country. Basically, the ANC is a bunch of illegal immigrants. That's all the ANC is really, in the end result. Illegal immigrants. That's what apartheid was all about. Sorry to say it, but that's the fact. Because Zulus are originals of that region, and they had full voting rights. So how does one group don't, another group does? Unfortunately, when you say that to people, they just don't. They think you're lying or saying something stupid. And now that they have to call up troops because, ANC is fighting with itself over Zuma being locked up, it's putting pressure on the currency. So, I'm in contact with a physicist down there in Cape Town, which is further away from it all. And we chit-chat. All right. And he was educated here in the States and taught up here. And then he's back in South Africa now, where he grew up. Let's see, where do we go from here? Is that satisfactory, Moses? We can go look at something else if you're interested. If not, we'll just drift around. So I guess we saw yen, we saw a South African Rand, ruble. Let's take a look at the ruble. Ruble went into a daily sell yesterday and is making kind of noise there now. Look at that. We got a volatility combination at the moment, and at the same time, it's trying to perk its head back up. Look at the histogram, and the white line is above the zero line. All right. Let's see, what's next? Oh, we go to Mexican peso. Right there. Oh, glad you saw it, Moses. No problem at all. As I always say, it's cheaper by the dozen on the questions. I charge you half of what I charged you for the first one. That's nothing. Nothing. It's a Dukascopy luxury. All right, and there is Mexican peso. Pressure is on the downside, but this is that hump we've been talking about. I've been concerned about that. That weekly, is still screaming at us, but what's really chasing after me, what's pulling my tail is I'm afraid we're going to get another one of these humps. The daily's jumping into a buy. In this case here, at least it was moving up at the time. This time it's not, so I'm not sure how big this hump could be. It might die like literally another, like right there. So we'll keep an eye on that when it comes to the Mexican peso. All right, where do we go from there? Let's go peso, ruble, yen, and ZAR, and South African rand. Anything else out there anybody want to see on the currency pairs? If not, or if you're trying to find one, take your time, no worries. We'll come back to it. Don't be afraid to ask. We're glad to give it to you. And that's about it there. We'll just wait for somebody to do that. While we're waiting, let's drift over again to the commodities again. Now we've seen the metals. I just wanted to show you natural gas, the way it just keeps on showing strength. Look at that. It just refuses to let go. That weekly's been in a buy for 14 weeks now, since back here in April. They're not comfortable. Prices. They think prices are rising here in the States. This is U.S. We're heading for $4. We haven't seen $4 natural gas in a long while. Look at that, trading at $3.91. I guess this is the Biden spread. We've gone from self-sufficiency in energies to we're importing again. Our liberal locals don't like the idea of using American. They like to use all the other stuff. Okay, there we are. I'm hearing from South Africa right now. I just had to answer him. There we are. Cause and effect. There we are. And so, let's see, where did we leave off? We left off nat gas. Let's take a look at copper. I did see copper doing something positive. I think I did. Did I? I remember refreshing it and going, wow, there's 2 green dots. Yeah, there it is. So we're in a buy for a day. The weekly is trying to turn up. You can see that. Not sure what that's all about, since they're knocking down all the other metals. You can see it's been in a sideways trend going nowhere for weeks now. And a weekly sell for 2, 4, 6, 7. Going on an 8th week, we've been in a weekly sell. That pressure is there. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what that's September copper. I'm not sure why they're buying into it, what's driving their desire. All I can see is that my weekly is launching itself. I don't think it's a Chinese thing. See oh, you know what? Did you see where like the aluminum what is it? Excuse me. The aluminum manufacturing operation that blew up in China over the weekend, and also those dams collapsing? Maybe they need the copper for that. Take a sip of my water there. Yeah, maybe that's one of the issues. China seems to rule copper. Seems to be, I don't think we're seeing a lot of industrial expansion here right now, so I'm not sure why that would be picking up, getting any legs in it. Why there would be some, solid buying. But we're seeing it. Now, we did see that in silver this morning. They were starting to buy it. I showed you that picture. I was really surprised. I thought, wow, that's kind of uncharacteristic of it. But then, obviously, Mr. Gold woke up and started beating it all up. I wonder what platinum's doing. Let's see what platinum's doing. Let's see platinum. And this is October platinum. Right there. Trading at 1064. Let's put gold up on J4X. Let's see, where is that? Gold, right there. And it's trading at just a little underneath $1,800, $17.98. So basically 18 minus 1065. So that's 735, and then take two more off, 733. So we're moving down a little bit. The spread's picking up something, nothing major, but we've been watching that spread since Mrs. Yellen became Secretary of Treasury, and it was trading at 1,051. It's fallen down. As I said yesterday, it fell down to like what was it? I think it was like $476 or $74, something like that, and then it bounced back up a little bit, played in the 5s and the 6s for a while, and now we're in the 7s. But overall, we've been a bear on that since the 1,051. We refer to it as the Yellen spread because she really doesn't play with the platinum like the way the last Secretary of Treasury does. For some reason, she leaves platinum more alone. I don't know why. And sure enough, it had a nice run, and is still doing partially fine. Still 350 some odd dollars off of the highs. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let me take a look at Palladium. It's right there. There's a September Palladium. Now September Palladium ran up to the 2,800, 2,900 area. And has rolled over. We mentioned that a couple times. We haven't really followed it. We had a couple people in here following Palladium when it was going after the 3s. Kept on saying, guys, it's in a weekly sell. Don't bet on it going up. Don't bet on it going up. Don't. So, and sure enough, they found a way to drive it down even more, almost $1,000. All right, let's see. That's the whole metals complex, and like I said, I'm thinking maybe copper's perking up because they need it because of all the damage they're having happen in China. Maybe that's what the story's all about in the end. All right, where else do we go from here? Guess what we could do is take a look at some of the stock indices. There is the Nasdaq 100 today. It closed in a daily buy yesterday. It's lifting up a little bit for a while today, but now it's minus. Let's do this. Let's put the other one up there to just show you, and then we'll go back to the daily. Let's see, not there. There it is, right there. So you can see it's down 28 points, 29 points right there. And the lows are much even lower, 668, and it's trading live right now at 693. This is the Tech 100 on Dukascopy. Let's put it up on there. There it is, right there. I think that might be the cash. So you're actually trading the cash, and this is the future. That's why there's a contango going on there, or a discount. All right, now let's jump over to the S&P 500. Same situation there. It's oh, here it is right here. It's up 11 points basically, 1050 at the moment. So they're doing some buying there, whereas this one's minus. Now it's only minus 23. There's a lot of action in these products. And then the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can see up 169 now, 170. Now minimize that again. We can take a look at it through here. There it is right there. You see it's in the weekly buys, even with this sell. The daily sell kept you safe so you didn't get whacked in the head from the sell-off. Same thing with the NQs. Was in a daily sell, so you couldn't be long for that slam. And then let's go over and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Same situation. You were short for the sell-off, and you can see we are constantly flirting. We just missed the weekly buy last week, was it? I think right there. Yeah, minus 140. Is that minus 140? No. Did it go in a buy last week? I guess it went into a buy last week. Where's the line at? There we are. There we go. So I guess that's what's going on there. All right, and so you can see the stock indices showing life. They're buying it. They're and again, stocks are a good inflation fighter because companies raise their prices. That's one of the big tricks out of it all, is companies raise their prices. And so they pass along the expense to their customers. And that's the way it rolls. And it's unfortunate, but it is a fact. All right, where do we go from here? Oop, I want to go back again. Let's try this one more time. There we go. All right, yeah, so that's where we are when it comes to the stock indices themselves. Also, let's see what the Russell 2000 doing. I mean, we were watching it. It's in a weekly sell now for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. Yeah, 3 full weeks. And it's also flirting with its weekly buy this week. So they're doing the bounce, the dead cat bounce. And you can see we're in the daily buy, battling its way in there today from yesterday. So, they are reaching for the stocks. As much as they sold it down, they see it as a buying opportunity. And until whatever is going on in the economy starts to scare those buy the dips traders, that's what they're going to do, is they'll sell it down for a couple of days or a day or so. Lightly at first and then slam, that type of thing for a couple of days, and then sure enough, they bring them right back. Once we don't see that, then you have to be concerned. Alrighty. That's all the stock indices. Let's see, what else should we look at here? That's the tech one, huh? So that's all the stock indices right there. You can see that on the sheet, or in this case here, the chart itself from Chicago Quant. And that's the Russell 2000, which was all-time highs right here. And so they've gone down, made a new low, and now bouncing up and taking off. Now this index in particular, I'll finish that thought off, and that is that this index is the weakest of all the stock indices when it comes to the quality of the companies and the earnings and so forth. And that's probably why it's been in the sell for a couple of weeks, because the pressure has been on. Okay, where do we go from here? Anybody want to see anything? If not, I'll go hunt something down as I take a sip of the water. All right, let's see. Let's just take a look in the Forex area. Let's see, Forex right there. How about the Nasdaq? We haven't looked at that in a while. Right there. That's another pairs trade that follows the oil market. Now when this is going down, oil is supposed to be going up. So you can see we are seeing some pressure in there. But we're in a weekly buy for 2 weeks, so the pressure is more on the upside than it is the downside. Which is something, we always need to pay attention to. Again, that weekly will lead us. Dailies can lead the weeklies. No doubt about that. But it's important to keep track of the weeklies just to have a general idea where the longer term money is thinking and where it's headed. All right. Oh, what do you like best out of the beans, corn, wheat? Now, that's a good question. Of late, I've been really gravitating towards red wheat. I've been kind of impressed with it. Let's take a look. Also, it's been interesting. We were in a long sell. Not it's relative long. What was it? 6 weeks, 7 weeks? We were in a sell. See here. Here's the wheat, just regular Chicago wheat. Was it? Where was it? I think it went into the sell here. The weekly sell there, off of this, that week. Okay, and let's move that over just a little bit. Yeah, from this, from up in there, and so it went into the sell here. Took about a week or so. Went into a daily sell like 2 days later, and sure enough, it broke down. Then tried to give us a head fake. You couldn't take the long, and it went down anyway. You missed that trade basically, and then I think in the July crop it was all right, but not in the SEP crop. And obviously, really the most, I guess, SEP wheat is really the thing right now because of everybody's harvesting their winter wheat at this point, so it's going to be done in August, September. But wheat has caught my eyes that it's went into that weekly buy here, then it went to the daily buy here. I'm sorry, and a weekly buy, and it's still climbing. Now, just these last 2 days, somebody they're taking some profits, but it's in the $7 area for new crop wheat, so that's really got my eye. That's something that's really caught my eye. Corn is December is the new crop, really, and let's take a look at that. That's right there. You can see here, it went into the daily sell, but we're in a weekly buy, so you can't short it, and it's also fighting its way towards the $6 area at 572. So I don't really see a lot of excitement there as much. Wheat has really got my eye. Chicago and red wheat have both got me looking at them. I'm watching them. And then soybeans, November is the big contract there, and it's been in the sell for a couple of days, but it's also in a weekly buy, and we're seeing that it's making that aggressive move to the $14 area again. So to really answer you, what do you like? I guess it's the wheats at this moment, because we're looking at this year's crop, new crop, basically being bid up. And that strange move in corn last week, I think, really woke up a lot of people that oh, yeah, go ahead, stay flat or short, and next thing you know is you're going to be paying for it through the nose. And that's pretty much what we saw there that day on the expiration of the actual contract. They drove it up into the almost 7.5 area. So that's where I'm at with the softs, And then bean oil, kind of just hovering around, really. Just take a look at that. There's bean oil right there, DAC. It's been trying to go down for the last couple of days. Not doing too good a job about it, but we're at a weekly buy, so not to take that short. You see, I'm watching Chicago wheat real close too. Yeah, well, it's showing things, I mean, new crop is lifting. Usually when you start to harvest, we're harvesting all our winter wheat around us now. And, another thing's really sticking out, soybeans. There's a lot of soybeans planted right now. We got a lot of soybeans around here planted, which is relatively odd. I mean, we always see a lot of soybeans around here, but, corn is a big thing. Corn and winter wheat. Well, let's see, what else is there to be said about that? Oh, you know what? Let's look at that tags of yours.
Robin R.
Oh, there's Robin. Let's see what Robin's up to. Yo, Robin, what's cooking? We haven't done unleaded gasoline in a while. Okay. Let me finish the webinar. and I'll be back to you in about 2 or 3 minutes. That's all right. No problem. No problem at all. Bye-bye. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's the, new crop stuff, old crop stuff. Fascinating. Saw old crop corn reach for the stars. We're seeing new crop wheat reach for the stars, $7 a bushel. I mean, that says a lot. We're seeing inflation across the planet. It's going to be pressure. We're going to see it pop out in lots of different areas. Obviously, we see it in gasoline. We see it, in, what else is there to see it in? The majors that people need. Corn for corn syrup. Corn syrup is a biggie for all the foodstuffs that people are eating. Wheat for bread. We're seeing a lot of prices rise up. And there's not much we can do about it, stopping it. What should we call today's webinar? Let's see, what did we look at? Did we look at anything particular? What currency did we emphasize the most? I guess the yen again, didn't we? And yesterday's I thought was the yen. Let me see what we call. Yesterday I think we talked about the yen too. Let's see, let me just drift over to there. I'm going to come up with something nice that emphasizes what we actually talked about so that people can tune in. We were looking at, we started off with Swiss. We are looking at the metals, there's no doubt about that. We looked at the South African Rand. So, I'm trying to think what else. Let's see, Millage says, what's the name, what else is there? Okay, Chicago wheat. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so at this point in time, the inflation is showing its head in a lot of different ways, and now we see the 30-year kind of dipping down. So that's got me even more, watching. And I guess like middle age, he's paying attention to dollar yen, and that might be a really good trade on the upside. That's what I think he's looking for. That is the upside trade there, because it seems like the dollar may be moving up not only because of inflation, and the strength of the dollar, but it may be moving up also at the same time because there's nothing else. There's nowhere else to go. I mean, literally, that is it. All right, traders. We will catch you tomorrow. This is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow. Going on Thursday, a day before TGIF. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy cyber trading friends. Ta-ta for now. Aloha.